Hello, this is I Seen You Before, playing Dominions 4 as Therodos in my early age Blitz. So the main issue that I had is I just realized that I've been uploading videos without any voices at all. Well, it's probably due to the time I was recording, so I'm just gonna do a bit more editing and do a voiceover so I can explain what I'm doing. So at this point in time, we're pretty much engaged and we're going to have to go and kill Niffleheim, or at least repel him, because we decided to go at war with each other. One thing that I discovered is of capital importance is to have a fortress on a coastal province. As soon as you do that, you get access to the other pool of mages that Therodos can hire, otherwise you're limited to pretty much your capital. It's okay to just spam forts as long as they're on coastal provinces, because they really help you in the long run with a free spawn, especially after the patch. And what I'm doing right now is I'm finally able to give that demon scroll to a commander. Probably shouldn't have picked that normal commander now that I think of it. But the thing is, every turn from now on, he will summon one demon for us, the Fire Devil. It's super cost efficient even while playing as Blood Nations, so when you get those for free, well, a free spawn of Devil, free spawns are always the best because they are free. And over time they can accumulate and stack to quite a nice raid squad. But for the time being, we're just gonna generate devils slowly, give my research items out in an attempt to boost our research. The game is currently played on easy research because of the faster nature of the game. So maybe I should not have wasted my time going into construction when I think of it, because of spectral philosophers are usually enough. Note that this is the time that before the patch kicked in, so it's pretty much easy to master sacred units. In the long game that I'm currently playing post-patch, it's fairly hard to master sacred units. And finding the income for it is even harder along the run. So I'm avoiding using them and relying on this pre-spawn. Post-patch, the pre-spawn increased quite a lot. Otherwise, I'm just deciding to go down the alteration tree eventually, because of Moors of the Earth. That's one spell that I found out really helps Therodos, and due to the easy research, I might quickly go and grab magma bolts for my spellcasters. But for the time being, I've been allocating most of my forces this turn defensively until I can get this fortress ready. And mostly we'll be going at war with Niffleheim. That's me moving the mages around, adding all leftover troops that we can grab. And unfortunately, before the patch, the spawn wasn't all that great. Now, when you see me clicking around and probably posing on the video, I'm probably explaining something that I did back then, but today that I'm recording this is quite hard to connect. The thing is, for this blitz, I can still keep expanding south towards the sea. The line fighters, because they have the ability of being a line fighter, they don't lose any moral when you set them in a line position, so that's a great thing. Otherwise, why am I right clicking there again? Okay, I'm adjusting the research now to get the alteration level 4. Setting out my formations, and I guess I was explaining why I put the sacred units on God Commander. It's because if they're on God, they won't go too fast, and they won't go and attack until they are blessed. As soon as they are blessed, they are berserked and will pretty much never out. One issue that I've found is that if you place them at the front and bless them too early, they tend to get stretched out and killed by the enemy army. But then again, that's another story. In the current long game that I'm playing, I'm currently being attacked by Sacred Warriors with a Water 9 Bless. And I'm planning to use the berserk capabilities of my Sacred in an attempt to counter that for the time being, but I'm not too sure how it will go. Otherwise, I'm preparing the Kyberos and setting them in line right now. It's important to spread your mages, because if you leave them in one plot, in one army, and out of misfortune, either a big air of effect spell can just hit that spot or stray arrows. It's always good to stretch out your units. Now, one thing in Foresight is that the Earth Melt is pretty much the last resort that I have against giants, because when you actually think of it, due to the high strength of giant units, it was a waste. We'll probably see that on next turn, or our spellcasters, if I remember correctly, they found something else to spam which was a bit more useful than what I did. But the protection is an attempt to hold our line as long as possible, and with our pretender and his capabilities of casting mist form, I'm pretty sure we'll be perfectly fine. The mist form is a really important buff used by most super commanders and thugs, because it prevents a super layer of defense unless the enemy is equipped with magic weapons. During that time, I'm probably returning that unit back in an attempt to get more to form another raiding squad, so that we can keep inflicting at least some kind of economical damage on Niffleheim. Having played them before, due to the high cost of commanders and units, it's hard to get to counter raiding. Unless you allocate thugs to it, it's pretty hard. Here we go, jumping into turn 15. So first battle in the Sea of Mermaids, he seemed to have thugged out his Nettlejaws, and he decided to attack me under the ground. Under the water, actually, sorry, my bad. Thanks to the water breathing ring, the ice shield and the ice sword, oops, he should have enough defense to pretty much neglect every simple province defense. And the horror helmet gives him a fear aura, which helps him rout the province defense. That's a pretty nice example of a thug that Niffleheim can have at the early game. Secondly, he's trying to take the province with just his scout, which succeeded? Or not? No, he didn't succeed because he routed right after for some weird reason. I got lucky on the RNG right here. And the battle that we expected is the enemy hitting the place where we're currently building a fortress. So the machine I was using to record this battle wasn't the greatest, which is why there's a small lag to it. As you can see, the earth melt is being cast, but the giants take barely one turn to get out of it because of their high strength. We're spamming more earth melt, but as you can see, it's highly ineffective. That's why I realized, because on the next turn they just break free out of it. Otherwise, let's see if I can spot our god. Our god is still at the back, and now he's going in to attack the enemy. He's gonna play a large part in the battle. Thanks to him, he was able to stop a lot of those giants. Our units are holding the line pretty good due to being ethereal, and that Niffleheim has no magic weapon. But on the bright side is that even though we have a cold aura, our undead units are immune to that cold aura, so that's not such a big deal to us as well. But they definitely have a lot of standing power, and as you can see, it's hard to even kill them. My line fighters have routed, the archers have run out of ammo and engage in melee. Oh, we lost this province this turn. I didn't remember that properly. Got some gold through our random events, and he pretty much took the province away from us while we had a fort building, so we incurred a pretty bad gold loss. That happens every game. If you expect someone building a fort in a province, it's always a great idea to get him before he actually completes it, because when you think of it, forts pretty much means you landlock that province unless it's a palisade, but then palisades are built pretty fast. But yeah, having a fort on a land province pretty much means that you're here to stick for a while, and it's really annoying to get rid of unless it's unlike a simple province. So pretty much good foresight on him. I lost the fort, increasing some province defense in an attempt to prevent him from coming down any further. Am I switching my research to alteration? Pretty much. I have to send all the leftovers troops back to the scene and attempt to regroup. At least our pretender is alive. He's pretty much fine for the whole battle. No afflictions picked up or whatsoever. Just increasing the province defense here and there to prevent some raiding by the scouts, or if he decides to come here. During that time I decided that I want another fortress to the east, and so I'll recruit a barbarian chieftain to build a fortress there. And getting to most of the earth is quite important for Therodos because it's a really great spell and synergizes well with your free spawn. Due to the fact that they are floating, the earth melt basically doesn't affect them, which is what most of the earth costs as an air of effect. So during that time we gave our god an armor. Did you know that because he's an undead pretender and commander, he will encumber no encumbrance from equipping heavy armor? That's what advantage that the undead have when they are built as thugs and super commanders. Which is why Tartarians, the level 9 undead spell, Tartarian Gate, who gives you a pretty much really good super commander chassis. But you just need to throw a couple of items on and they're good at pretty much killing whole armies if you put unique items on them and whatnot. During that time, thanks to the hero that we receive, we are searching all the provinces. Because Therodos has no choice compared to most of the nations. It has to switch to magic gems to have a standing army. At least that was the case pre-patch. But for post-patch, I believe it's no different. Even though you do get a lot of free spawns, those free spawns, they have a big problem of they can't really kill units with high magic resistance. You see, they don't do normal damage, they do magic damage. Yes, that's a great thing, but unfortunately the type of magic damage that they do, the spectral spear, javelins, bows and whatnot, they get negated because they have to do a magic resistance roll against the enemy. Which means if you fail the roll, you pretty much deal no damage to them. I was trying to think if I could maybe forge a weapon for the god to get him to deal some more damage, but in the end, I think I ended up rushing to construction 4 and giving him one of the brand weapons, if I remember correctly. So, as you can see, the devils started spawning. We finally got a coastal fortress, so we can recruit a few Kyberos. And I didn't really try the Kobirans, but I guess I don't remember fielding them a lot during the game. But post-patch, everyone should forget about this because you can only recruit 2 of those per turn, and that's all of the secrets, only 2 per turn, and which is a pretty bad limitation in my opinion. Sure, I guess if you have 5 forts and you can, even if you have 5 forts ideally and you recruit 2 per turn, it doesn't sound too good, especially compared to other sacred nations that don't have a dying gold dominion. Every game that I've played, including my single player one where I tried to use growth, but that was pre-patch, but also post-patch, is that, yeah, post-patch the income diminishes a bit slower than what it did pre-patch, but still in the end you end up pretty gold starved, so I can't think that hiring the sacred would be a viable strategy. Most of the time I ended up needing the gold to recruit mages. Once during that turn, I'm pretty much ending it right here. And that's it for this episode. I'll be uploading the next one pretty shortly. Thank you, and see you soon.